Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, as promised, y'all, I am going to make a very, very easy meal, I guess you would say, and I'm actually doing this for breakfast. I am not always a traditional breakfast food eater, and because I am trying to get my mouth to heal, which has been a challenge, y'all, I have to say that, I'm trying to make sure that I get enough protein in my diet. Plus, I'm trying to use up some of my home canned goods. So what are we going to make today? We're going to have to stay tuned to find out. In a row with my hair down. Y'all shocked? I'm gonna flip it back a little bit because I'm always afraid I'll get hair in my food. Now, if it's my hair, it's not pleasant, but it doesn't gross me out as bad as if, I would be serving it to someone. So I've washed my hands, I've disinfected the counters because of Hanky Panky Frankie, my sweet little boy. I've been trying to brush him every day, y'all, and I have to bribe him to brush him. And y'all know Frankie will only drink not only, but mostly only drink running water out of the sink. So if I give him a drink and he's really thirsty, I can brush him while he drinks, which I know is cat hair in the kitchen, which is why I have to clean all the time. But I'm hoping to prevent being a long-haired cat. He is a Seal Point Himalayan. If you could make something out of cat hair, I would be a very rich woman. So what you're going to need for this recipe is either biscuits in the tube and these are the Great Value buttermilk. You can make homemade biscuits as well. You do want, in my opinion, to make them the size of what like a Grand's biscuit would be. If you're not in the US, you'll see the size. You're going to need some sloppy joe. So back when ground beef, which is so expensive, the low fat percentage of ground beef was on sale, I bought a lot and I pressure canned a whole bunch of sloppy joe because I find this to be extremely convenient if you need like an emergency meal or you have unexpected company. I just really love these. I know it sounds odd, but y'all don't knock it till you try it. I was sharing with my son that I was going to make these, and he was like, well, don't forget the mustard, Mom. And this was kind of his invention of an addition to the regular sloppy joe little pies that I make. Okay, you're also going to need mustard. Now, I have... Y'all are probably like, do you ever shop anywhere besides Walmart? I do, but I have Great Value yellow mustard, or you can use spicy brown. Now, we made this on a video, I think 2 years ago. This is cranberry mustard, so it's the grainy, spicy mustard. But y'all, let's face it, it's not super appetizing looking. It tastes delicious, but it's not a pretty color like I was hoping a cranberry mustard would be, but it's delicious. And I have quite a bit of it on hand, so I'm trying to use that up. And then a cheese of your choice. I am going to use the pre-shredded Great Value sharp cheddar and the finely shredded. So let me tip you down. Y'all just ignore all this. As I plan, let me come around here and change this a little bit. As I plan my videos ahead, I'll make a pile over here. And then if I have company, I real quick put it in the closet because it does get to be quite tall and messy. So you're going to need a jar or something to flatten out the center of your biscuit. I've preheated my oven, and I do have a convection oven. I'm just going to be using the top half of my oven. So we're gonna have to watch these really closely because I always feel like it cooks faster. And first thing we're gonna do, so what if you're using a pre-made biscuit, just set your oven to whatever temperature that it says. That's what I find works the best. So let's get these open. And if you don't want to whack it on the counter, you can use just a spoon at the seam, but that's the way I've always done it. So let's spread these out. And I believe this will make 8. Now I will say, these don't freeze great. Yeah, they just don't. So you could do it in a smaller quantity, but what I found is the 8 biscuits with 1 jar, and this is a pint jar, comes out perfectly. So what you want to do with your biscuit is you're going to make like a pie crust. You know, that might be a little bit big. Let me... Oh dear. Y'all, I need to clean out my cupboards, don't I? I might. Let me see here. Gotta get just the right one. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. This is a Crazy Cat Lady glass, and that's just my oven letting me know it's ready. That I unfortunately put in the dishwasher, and so most of the writing has worn off, but it still drinks just fine. So you want to flatten the biscuit so that it looks kind of like a pie shell. And what I can say is make sure that you get the center of the biscuit. I don't know if you can really tell that. Pretty flat. If you don't, because we're going to be putting our filling in, it can be not as cooked as you want it. So we're going to just flatten these all out. And they don't really spread a lot, but they will rise. Yeah, this is a good glass to use for it. Oops. So it is 40 degrees this morning. We're into a bit of a cool down. It's going to be in the low 60s today. And I hope to spend a little bit of time with my girly girls. They've definitely slowed down on their laying. Miss Winona, my Silky, she is a champion and she is laying every day. I think part of the reason that my girls don't lay as well is they're about, in my guesstimate, getting close to being 3 years old. So their laying is going to slow down. As long as they are alive, whether they produce eggs or not, I will never harvest or divest myself of any of the chickens, just because I consider them to be my pets. This one didn't come out as good, but still it worked fine. Now, here's the key. They can be a little bland, I think, if you don't put your mustard in. So this is the cranberry mustard, and again, it's not going to show, so it's not going to really affect the look of it so much. I can honestly say, even though this is really tasty, I probably would not make it again, only because it's ugly. And you know, when you put something like this on the table, people are like, yeah, do you have any regular yellow mustard? Now my son will eat it, but it's not the most appetizing looking. It's sort of a brownish purple, and we'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to do half of mine in spicy brown, and I'm going to do half of mine in just plain yellow mustard. So what does the mustard add to this dish? It gives it a nice vinegar tang. And you can add as little or as much as you want. I like a lot. And you can also omit it. But I'm telling you, if If you're not sure you're gonna like it, just do 1 or 2 with the mustard. You're gonna like it. If you like mustard, you'll like it. It doesn't come off as being super mustardy. It just adds a flavor element. I'm sure you all know how to spread mustard, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you the entire process. I mean to get that on the outside, but it won't hurt anything. Alrighty. So we have that finished. Let's go ahead and open our Sloppy Joe. Yeah, I ordered this fancy schmancy opener. I don't love it. Just saying. Don't love it. So I'm going to get a bigger spoon. When you can, Sloppy Joe, I do rinse my ground beef, even though this was a low-fat ground beef. I was amazed that it still had some fat in there, but it's really very small. It's not like a thick layer. If you use a higher fat percentage ground beef, you may need to scrape that. I would scrape that off. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to add a very generous amount of Sloppy Joe to each one of our biscuit pies, whatever you want to call it. I probably got this recipe maybe even from the Grand's website. I don't know. Could have been Pinterest, could have been a million different places, but this has become sort of a easy meal family favorite. Try to hit the biscuit and not the nonstick mat. Well, that must be the drip spot. I will wipe that up because otherwise it's going to burn. So one more. And I have just a little bit left. So let's kind of top off because I'm not going to eat that little bitty bit. It's not enough for a sandwich. This one could definitely use more. And this is just really nice. I didn't have to go through the process of making homemade Sloppy Joe because I did it when I did the canning process. All right, next you want to add your cheese. And it doesn't take a ton. Oh Lord. Well, we're gonna have some mess to clean up, so wash up. That's okay. You could use anything you want. I think the sharp cheddar, you could use Colby Jack. You could use, what is the one that's kind of spicy? Pepper Jack. You could use anything that you wanted on there. But the cheese just adds a little something, something. Now, are these low in fat or calories? No, they're not. So before the haters come in and tell me, as the one gal did, I should not have the word wellness anywhere near my channel. Eating things like this in moderation, in my opinion, is perfectly fine. And even though these have, let's see how many carbs a biscuit has. 170 calories and 25 grams of carbs. So eating one would still be within, if you're diabetic and your healthcare professional has said keep your carbs at 25 to 35 per meal, you could certainly eat one of these. Now, I will start this, it says in itty bitty print, 19 to 25 minutes until golden brown. I'm gonna check it at 15. I may need, just because I'm using a convection oven with a fan in the back, I may need to rotate the tray. So I will bring you back just shortly. Gives me some time to get this kitchen cleaned up, and we'll get these cooking for our breakfast this morning. All right, y'all, our beautiful Sloppy Joe mini pies are out of the oven. Again, it's going to depend on your oven. I did mine for let's see, 15, then I did 4, which is 19. Franklin, 22 minutes. And I think they're beautifully done. So let's go ahead and give this a taste test. I know it's delicious, but I'm not sure which mustard this is, but it doesn't matter because I like it both ways. So here's what it looks like. Oh, it smells good. This is what it looks like inside, so you can see the biscuit is fully done. That's probably the key piece. If you find your biscuits are getting too brown, turn your oven down 25 degrees. Franklin's waiting for his drink. He's like, you've been making video long enough, my mom. Yeah, so good. What do you need, Poo Pie? The tang of the mustard, the sloppy joe, I made it bold and spicy. I haven't been able to eat spicy food with my dental surgery, but cheese adds a little creamy element. You could actually use more cheese than what I did. I'm, pardon me, trying not to see how many calories I can eat. Definitely a kid pleaser if they like sloppy joe. Gives you a good amount of protein, suitable for breakfast, in my opinion. Sorry, y'all, I shouldn't have taken that second bite. But this is one of my favorite things to have on hand. Even if you make your biscuits homemade, it's usually something that I have on hand in my pantry staples. I do not have milk producing animals, so I have to buy my cheese. But having the canned sloppy joe on the shelf saves me a lot of time. It's a great winter pleaser. You can actually warm your house up a little bit with your oven as well. So, y'all, I'm ahead of the game. Today is Thursday. You'll be seeing this on Saturday. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead. It's always a challenge for me because I'm always like, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So at least my videos are real time and not done real far ahead. I still have some work to do on the loofah. We still have bean soup I want to can. And y'all, I'm super excited to tell you this. I'm going to be doing some sewing projects for Christmas decor. Now, y'all, I know it's not even Halloween yet. And if you look over here, it's a week from today. But if you're a crafter, you can't wait until December 15th to start your decor crafts. So it will be a vintage project or projects. So I'm excited to bring that to you. I have a new, not my Etsy store, but I have a new Etsy store person. Pardon me, guys, I'm trying to fight the hiccups. That actually has a lot of really cool vintage patterns. I've ordered one for her, from her. We had a really nice chat, so I'll be sharing her Etsy store when we get to that point. So drop me a comment below. Is this something you would try? Do you have an idea of how to kick it up a notch or to change it so it would meet more of you and your family's taste? I'd love to hear that from you. So I will see you again on Saturday. Smash that like button on the way out. Don't forget to leave me a comment of some sort, even if it's not relevant to the Sloppy Joe biscuits. And until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.